Hi all, hope you're all well. Welcome to Neil Invests. I'm Neil and welcome to this, my new channel. So in this first video I'm going to be talking about what you can expect in the coming weeks and months, the sort of content I'm going to be covering. So listen, I'm just a regular guy who a few months back, I realised I got to get into this game. I got to start making my money working for me. So I spent the next number of weeks reading every book I could get my hands on, watching every possible YouTube channel, and researching for hours a day before starting my journey. That brought me to starting two accounts. The first one, as you can see here in front of you, is the HL Stocks and Shares ISA. I've also got a Trading 212 account, which we'll go through in future weeks. But in the first instance, we're just going to concentrate on this account here in front of us. So I'm no expert by any means. All I've done is done a lot of research and a lot of reading, and put that research into practice. And now what I'm trying to do is just share it out to the world as well. Make it as easy as possible for people to get into this game. So my outlook with this is the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I am by no means a day trader. My aspirations are to create enough within these funds, within these two portfolios, that eventually I'm going to be able to live off. That's the aspiration, and the way I'm doing that is through two methods. The first one being this growth opportunity here through HL, and the other one being a diverse dividend-paying portfolio that I have within 212. So in this first video, I'm just going to concentrate here on HL and the funds that I have chosen. So first of all, this is the HL homepage. Once you've created a Stocks and Shares ISA, this is the page that you'll be seeing shown to. In a future video, I'll show you how to set up a Stocks and Shares ISA, but this is what it looks like once it's up and running, depending upon which funds or stocks, for example, that you've chosen. So obviously, as we know, there's a £20,000 per year limit, but that's completely tax-free in the UK. So any investment that you make within this ISA, any cash generated, any profit generated, any dividends, any growth, is completely tax-free. So it's a great facility, and one that we should be maxing out as much as we possibly can. I'd love one day in the next few years to be able to max that out. £20,000 across the year is around £1,666 a month. So it's quite a stretch at the moment for me. For me, that is. For other people, it may not be, and it's great if you can max that out. So this is the home page. At the top here, you can see the stock value. So this is the value of the stock as it currently is. Total cash that you have on the reserves on the side, ready to invest or ready to pay any fees, which is £998 I have in here. And then the total value here is £3,500. So again, on the right-hand side here, you can see that based on my account, HL recommends that I have a specific amount of cash on the side to be able to pay the fees that are going to go out, the management fees that are going to go out monthly. So they recommend £5 for this. So obviously I'm more than covered in that with nearly £1,000. The reason I've got that in there is to pick up any opportunities that I see as they come along, and also to invest in a high income fund, which is not something that I have within this portfolio at the moment, which is going to generate some cash on a monthly basis. So I'll go through the reason for that in it shortly. As you can see, I've invested $2,794, and given the last few months that we've had, the value of my stock is only $2,511. So I'm currently tracking at 10% down on my investment, which is £280 down. But as I said, I'm a long-term investor, so I'm not overly concerned about that. And if anything, as I've been investing on a monthly basis, dollar cost averaging into this account, it has meant that I've been picking up these funds at a lower cost. So it's not a major issue for me at this time. So as you can see, I've got 5 funds within this account, and they're all indexes. So an index is something that tracks against, so for example, the Hsbc Footsie 100 index tracks directly against the Footsie 100. It isn't the Footsie 100, it tracks against it. So that means that it takes any of the highs, any of the lows as we go along with it. So the Footsie 100 is the 100 biggest companies in the UK, and that, as you can see, is 16% down for me at the moment. That's my worst performing one. The UK is really struggling through what's been going on over the last few months. I've got an iShares equity index. iShares is run by BlackRock. This is the Japanese market, and this is 2% down at the moment, and this is my best performing one recently, so not doing too bad. I expect that actually, in not too distant future, may even creep back into the green. I've got an iShares Pacific ex-Japan equity index, which is the whole of the Pacific area with the exclusion of Japan. That's currently 11% behind, which equates to about £63. And I've got the legal and general European, which is all of the countries, all of the big countries across Europe. That's 12.5% down. And I've got a UBS S&P 500, which is the 500 biggest companies in America. So as you can see, there's stars against three of them. The three that have stars against are, I wonder if it comes up. No, it doesn't. Those are the Wealth 50 recommended funds by HL. So they've done a load of research, and those are the funds that they recommend that are going to be good investment choices for the long term over the next few years. So that's a quick overview of my account. And what we'll quickly just do is just illustrate what the difference between an accumulation and income fund is. So as you can see on the Money website here, I'll put a link to this at the bottom. The difference between the funds. So an income fund pays any profit to your nominated bank account. This means that you can withdraw the money as an alternative income. So in the HL example, what HL do is they put the money straight back into your available to invest amount, which then gives you the option to either withdraw it or invest it. An accumulation fund is designed to generate growth rather than income. Your profits are automatically reinvested to buy more shares in the fund, and your stake in the fund grows. So should your profits if the fund performs well. So it goes into some further detail here in terms of which one is safer and which one you should choose based on your criteria. So as I say, I'll put a link to that on the bottom of the video, so you can have a look further into that if you like. As all of my funds are accumulation funds at the moment, any profits generated, any dividends, any growth is invested directly back into that fund. So it limits my options in terms of being able to direct it in different directions. If, for example, I felt I was underweight in my Footsie 100, I could direct some of my growth from my European index in there, but I can't do that at the moment. So one of the things I'm going to look to do in the next couple of weeks is add a income fund into here as well, and that'll be a monthly income generating fund. So probably high income Artemis fund that will generate cash every month and pay out as a dividend into my amount available to invest, and it will give me the option then to invest that directly back into whichever fund I feel appropriate at that time. Given the current situation, it may be that there's an opportunity and it would make most sense to invest all of my income out of that back into the S&P 500. It may even be that it makes more sense to invest directly back into the high income Artemis fund. But it gives me a level of flexibility, and it allows me to increase my diversification even further. So listen guys, I wanted to keep this first video relatively short, just to give you a feel for the sort of things that I'm going to be covering in the coming weeks. This is going to be a journey, and it's going to be, the purpose of it is to track 2 real live UK accounts to see the ups and downs and the reasons associated with them. Also going to go through some technical stuff in terms of how to set up accounts, how to buy funds, how to sell funds. So hopefully in the next week or so we'll be able to see how I've added my Artemis fund, and I'll record that so we can see the process involved in that. The other things I'm going to cover obviously is my Trading 212 account. I'm going to have a portfolio update and the movement on the account and the reasons why. Any relevant news that's come out in the week that's going to have an impact on the account, and anything that we need to consider in terms of our investments as a result of that. And I got loads of other subjects that I can't wait to get into, to be honest with you. I'm going to hopefully do a weekly video update on this, dropping it in once a week. And what I'd like to do is build a community here around this in the comments section. So I want people to feel involved, ask any questions, help each other out. There's still a lot for me to learn, so I want to learn a lot too as well as helping you guys out. I've also got a Twitter and an Instagram account, so feel free to follow those. I'll put a link for those in the description below, and please like and comment this, and subscribe. I'd like to grow this channel and help as many people as possible. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you again this time next week. Cheers.